So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Good afternoon and welcome to Team Sheet Tantrum for today's Premier League game against Chelsea. I hope everybody is fit and well. Neil will hopefully join us in a while. Real life is getting in the way of all these podcasts. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Didn't watch any football yesterday. Saw a little bit of match of the day. And look, the team is in. There is a little bit of a tantrum. We have decided to leave out Leon Bailey. So the team in full is Emi Martinez, Matty Cash, Ezri Konza, Pau Torres, Luca Dean, John McGinn, Yuri Tielemans, Boubacar Kamara, Jaden Philogene Badais, Morgan Rogers, and Ollie Watkins. So there we go. What do we all think of that? Look, I think that's as close, save for fully firing Leon Bailey, as close to the best team we can put on the pitch. If anyone disagrees with that, that's absolutely fine as well. I'll go through with your subs for you there now. He is gone with Robin Olsen, Diego Carlos, Tyrone Mings, Matson, Bogard, Barkley, Buendia, Bailey, and Duran. Am I correct in saying that we're a sub short? 9 subs. Olsen, Carlos, Mings, Matson, Bogard, Barkley, Buendia, Bailey, and Duran. Plenty of backup. It's going to be a difficult afternoon. I think we all know that. I think Chelsea are a completely different beast under their new manager Enzo Maresca, and we'll go through their team in a moment. Let me know how you're feeling about that lineup while I try and call up the Chelsea team for you. Don't follow them on Twitter, so this is probably not going to come up too easy, but we'll see. Chelsea FC, we found it. Onana is missing. Yes, he is. What have we got here? Have they got a team? Have they got it in order? Let's see how we go with this one. Okay. They have gone with Sanchez, Fofana, Colwill, Cucurella, Neto, Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo, Sancho, Palmer, and Jackson. Strong team. Very, very strong team. On the bench, they've got Jorgensen, Tosson, Badashile, Viega, Gusto, Madueke, Mudryk, Joe Felix, and Nkunku. So a good strong bench in there. Enzo and Lavia in midfield. Not sure they've done that. I'm open to correction, obviously. Going to be difficult to break them down as well as stop them as well. So look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. What I'm looking for today out of us is a performance. Can we go and win it? Yes, we absolutely can, but I don't think we will. So a performance, I think, is vital to lead us into the run of games that we should be getting points from. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. That's more out of hope than expectation. I just feel a little bit worried about this fixture. I have done. It's been waiting in the long grass for me for a while. Peter says some pace in that team. Sancho, Jackson, and Neto. Yeah, if it all comes together, it's going to be something else, isn't it? Harry Johnson says, please don't start Rodgers. Okay, he has done. So he's there. He trusts him, and he's going to do a job. What else have we got here? Would Rodgers benefit coming off the bench to make an impact similar to John Duran? I think we're on a reset here at the moment just to try and get people up to speed and fit and ready to go. I don't know what he can do. I think we discussed it, myself and Neil, the other night. I don't know what he can do to make this any easier. Even to step down Rodgers, what does he do to change things up? So it's a strange one. Look, he's made one change there. Philogene is in. I don't know what the feeling is there. Is that to make it more defensive down that right hand side, like he did against Bayern? That's a possibility. What else have we got here? Sty says Chelsea are so good this season. Yes, they have. They have been absolutely excellent. David Dwyer agrees with me. He's thought 1-1 as well, Paddy. More hope than expectation. I don't mean to be down on this. I absolutely don't mean to be down on this. I've said we can absolutely go and beat them. I'm just not expecting it today. It's going to be difficult. It really is going to be difficult. So fingers crossed we can pull something out of the fire that we haven't done in recent weeks. And look, the performance the other night was absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. And we could have very easily got on and won that game, but for a poor referee. And apologies for my outburst the other night if I upset a few people. Look, you're going to get that with me from time to time. Not my proudest moment, but I stand over everything I said about it. It was an absolute disgrace and bitterly disappointing for everybody who was there. Max Hunter says it's about time we put in a full 90-minute performance. Hopefully that comes today. Quietly confident of this one. 1-0 Ollie with the goal. Yeah, it's okay to be quietly confident. I think, like as I said, I would not be one bit. I would be surprised if we turn them over, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Realms of possibility, even easy for me to say. Would you like to see Buendia given a start? Yeah, he just hasn't. He hasn't done enough for me when he's got in there to warrant the start. Whether he's putting it in training or not, I just don't know. So we will just have to pass judgment on that till we see him getting fully up to match fitness and see how he does. Timothy Gill says, I'm not mad at the team. I like McGinn as a holding mid, but Yuri as a 10. Yeah, I think we said that the other night as well. Does that come into play at some stage? It could possibly be. Gig Sharma says, shocked to see Philogene start, offers nothing, hopefully gets the winner now. I can't stand the fella. And look, you're quite entitled to your opinion, Gig Sharma. I like him. I think there's a player in there. It's just a question of getting him up to the level that we're at. And look, he's got a great manager capable of doing that for him. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people shouting at the screen, not agreeing with you. I hope he does get the winner. I absolutely do. I really enjoyed his performance against Bayern Munich, and I hope he can replicate that again today and really frustrate Chelsea. Mad Villain says draw would be a phenomenal result given the form of Chelsea versus our own. Yeah, I think I've alluded to that in what I've said. They just look like the Chelsea of old, and the manager's got a tune out of them which their previous manager couldn't. How he keeps that going with the amount of players he's got to keep happy is beyond me, but we'll see how that goes. Mark Willis says, up the Villa, roasted Chelsea, a point would be fine, but 3 is better. I'd rather not 0. Yeah, 100% for you. 100% with you on that one. Genuine question for you, Paddy. What would you put our bad run of form down to? Oh, God. It's a difficult question, and it applies. If you look at how congested that Premier League is, it's frustrating that we're not picking up the results that we are, because we could just we could be sitting in between Man City and Liverpool very easily with the results I feel we've thrown away. So it is frustrating for everybody. Is it a bad run of form? There's been a couple of bad performances in there, but I think in general the performances have been okay. couple of lapses in concentration have led us to be in the position that we are. There's a couple of really outright blinding, annoying performances or mistakes, which has cost us big time. But I don't think we're on a bad run of form. I think the results have gone against us. I think the mistakes have gone against us. But if you look at the performances we've put together and not got 3 points where we probably deserved them, I think it's coming. And look, what better time for it to come than coming into the Christmas period when everything is so congested? We could very easily pull away. And look, we've got 2 winnable games after today. I'm just a little bit broken from Wednesday night. I'm a little bit broken from the likes of the Bournemouth game, the likes of the Ipswich game, the likes of the Man United game, the games that we should have won and didn't. So that's bitterly disappointing for me. If you put those points on, even just those 3 games, put those 3 games points on the table for us, we're looking really, really well. Richie agrees with my analysis. Thanks, Richie. You might be on your own there. Joystick Media says they can't defend and they're very reliant on Palmer and Jackson. A bit of positivity, guys. Trying to be as positive as I can. Totally get it. I hope you get what I'm saying about being bitterly disappointed after those results that I've just outlined there for you. Engine number 9 says we're due a Duran sub winning goal. To be honest, yeah, that's long overdue. I think long overdue. Tez Sampo says, I hope Philogene takes his opportunity and puts in a performance. I think we all do there. We're all with you on that one. Mark Willis says, we love a good outburst. Wasn't oil deserved either. Scandalous. I presume that's well deserved. Or whatever. Look, it was an outburst. I listened back very early on Thursday morning and I messaged Neil and I went, look, everything I said I stand over. It's probably not ideal for podcast listeners, and a couple of people got upset with in the comments, and I think I banned somebody from commenting, and you can do all these things in the heat of the moment, which is why I don't like doing post-match pods. Mark, how are you doing, buddy? Jaden a bit more defensive than Bailey. Yes, I think that's why he's in there. Black Country Villain says, love the referee rants, Paddy. All the best. I've said this so many times on and off air. I'd much prefer to be talking about football than referees. Football is my love. Referees are my pet hate. When they cost us, I call them out. They cost us the other night. I think everybody was in agreement. Unless you are a Juventus fan, that we probably should have won that. Cat Cannon is asking, is Bailey injured? Don't think so, Cat. He's on the bench, so I'd imagine he's got something to offer here today. Sorry, Sai says the one thing about Chelsea is they give you chances. The German side had a lot of chances the other night, even with rotation. Yeah, we will get chances today, but we've got to take them. We've had chances in previous games and not taking them. Bailey hitting the post, Watkins had a couple of chances. He had a really good one saved the last day as well, which was very frustrating. Paul S is saying, masterclass memory, manager of the month for December, 3-1 away win. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I might not come home from the pub today because I've got no work tomorrow. But a win today and I might enjoy my Sunday. So he says the referee is a worry as much as the opposition. Is it Atwell today? So I've forgotten. I've absolutely forgotten. They're all the same. They're capable of robbing us at any given opportunity, so I'm not too worried. We'll just go and do our own job. What else have we got here?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Apologies for my tardiness as always. I see the team below. This is actually genuinely the first I've seen of the team. So I see Mr. Philogene is in there, all right. So I'm getting a reaction, albeit 15 minutes late. Martinez, Cash, Kanza. Great to have Kanza back in there. Everybody knows my feelings on that back line. With Kanza in it and without Kanza in it. I'm not too surprised in a way to see Philogene in there. Maybe give Bailey a rest, but having Kamara back in there is a huge plus point for me. And that's my 45-second synopsis on the team sheet there. I'm sure everybody, once again, I haven't seen the comments. I'm sure everybody, there's a lot of head scratching going on with Philogene in there. I know a lot of people were very convinced with him after the Bayern Munich game. We're less convinced with him since. But I know a lot of people have been very unconvinced by Bailey this season as well. So, we can't have it both ways, I suppose. When we try something out, let's see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll rightfully pan it afterwards and we'll discuss it after the fact. But I think that team is that's the one big selection that stands out here. Big spotlights on a couple of players in the team there. I think there's going to be a huge spotlight on again, I suppose, just once again, for me, there's going to be a huge spotlight on Mr. McGinn if he's going to be outside in the left or where he's going to be in the centre, not due to his performance or anything, just his positioning. And secondly, then Mr. Rogers as well. Just the spotlight for him is we need to get him back up to speed to what we know he can do. I saw on Twitter a couple of people referencing that he was coughing his lungs up on Wednesday night. Maybe he had a bit of a cold or something like that, or maybe he's going through something. But if he is, then why is he playing? So I wouldn't read too much into it. But yeah, Paddy, what else have I missed? Because I've just literally jumped in here head first.
You missed the $6 million question. Richard wants to know: is there no Christmas decorations up yet, Paddy? Have you got your tree up yet, Neil?
I don't know. I don't, because I've got a 19-month-old lunatic who will go head first into it. So I've bought a second fire guard, and my tree is going up next weekend, next Sunday. Not for any traditional purposes or anything, but the 8th of December. My tree. I always get a real tree, Paddy. I always get a real tree. Yeah. Much to the chagrin of my other half. But
the reason I asked you this question, Neil, is every
there's
year.
There's one going here too.
Every year at this time of year, I either go to Villa or go somewhere and I create a little bit of magic. So last Saturday, me and you had a few pints and we celebrated Noel Connaughton's 50th birthday party. But before I left here, I took all the decorations down from the attic and I piled them in a lovely pile in the middle of the floor.
Is that great magic?
I went away for the night and came back and they were all up. And I had nothing to do, only take them out of the attic. And then I put all the empty boxes back up and everybody is happy. And that's what I do at this time of year. So there's none in my office, Richard, but thanks for the question. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the lightheartedness given the week I've had.
I am useless at decorating. So I just don't, if that makes sense. But I am... sorry there now, I'm just selecting the window that I want to try and share here, because we've got the Chelsea team as well. So like you, I take everything down and I get the tree, and inevitably where we put the tree is into an alcove in a bay window, and I inevitably get a tree that's too big, so then I have to hack it down. There's a great story there if anybody wants a story about me having to cut the bottom of a Christmas tree with a bread knife. Essentially it was a bread knife. There is a great story in that. I'll tell someone over a pint sometime, and I got through about 3/4 of it and had to just break it off, but that's a great story. So we'll get through that one at another date, and my other half can corroborate that if anybody needs corroboration. But yeah, that's my job, is to get the tree, regret getting a tree that's too big, have to cut it down National Lampoon style, and then and then struggle on from there. Anyway, back to Villa Chelsea. I don't know
for Christmas.
Yeah, well, I have a saw now. That's the situation is the story. But here's the Chelsea starting 11. I don't know if you went through it, Paddy. Sanchez, Fofana, Colwill, my buddy Cucurella, Neto, Casera, Lavia, Enzo, and Sancho, Palmer, and Jackson then up top. So it's going to be 3 at the back: Fofana, Colwell, Cucurella, Neto, Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo then in the middle, with Sancho out wide, and probably Palmer playing off Jackson there. So that's the way they're going to line up. Their bench is Jorgensen, Tosin, Badiashile, Vega, Gusto is back from injury, Madueke, Mudryk, João Felix. João Felix not a Villa player. I thought he signed for Villa. He's like a Weston McKinney type player. And then Nkunku as well. So brilliant bench for them. Really, real strength there. What's our bench, Paddy? Because as I say, the first I saw of the team was when it was rolling across the bottom of the screen there.
Our bench
I'll bring it up.
Olsen, Carlos, Mings, Matson, Bogard, Bartley, Buendia, Bailey, and Duran. So
That's a
the
stronger
only
bench.
obvious one is Onana is missing.
That's a stronger bench as we've just shown there, if not stronger, to be honest. Let's just bring it up here for posterity's sake. Martinez, Cash, yeah, Konza, Paudini, feeling, yeah, perfect. So Olsen, Diego Carlos, Tyrone Mings, Matson, Bogard, Barkley, Buendia, Bailey, and Duran. So realistically speaking, there you could change our whole back four there, and we've got like for like replacements, I think, in all those positions. We've got Ross Barkley to come in midfield. Buendia, if he ever gets a go again, to come in the number 10 position. Bailey covers both wing plays, and Duran obviously is the replacement for the man up top. So look, that's, as you said, that's as strong as you're likely to see. If Onana is there, Onana probably comes in. Maybe Bogard drops out. Maybe Buendia drops out in an instance like that, but it's a stronger bench as you're likely to see. And we've, like, even at that, we've got Nona Jelkovic on the bench there. We don't have any who else are we missing? I think we're missing somebody else from the bench there that we've seen over the last few weeks. But yeah, my brain isn't heavily engaged at the moment. As I say, I'm learning all this new right now. So but that's a really strong bench. It's a really strong bench.
Yeah, we're looking good.
Paddy, instead of asking you your well, I am going to ask you because I know you got to go in 3 minutes. So I'm going to ask you two questions. First of all, is what mad thing do you think is going to happen, or what's your out of the box prediction for this game today? And second of all, what is your score prediction?
I predict that a Chelsea player will get sent off today.
You robbed my one. I was going to be more specific. I was going to say Cucurella will get sent off today, but that's just feeding into my my obvious bias.
I think the referees are gone a bit easy on Cucurella since all the grief he got after the Euros. I'm going to go with Lavia if I have to name one. He's the one that gets sent off today.
Maybe. I'm going to go with Aston. I'm going to go with Aston Villa are going to score. I was going to say Aston Villa are going to score over 2 goals, but that's not really mad out of the box thing. Well, it is really at the moment because we don't score much over 2 goals. I'm going to say that Villa's 2 goals are going to both come from outside the box, and Villa are going to win 2-1. Patrick Pens, you're a day late, Dave. They're a day late.
You'd have got some money predicting that yesterday, wouldn't you?
Jesus, yeah. What's your prediction for the score, Paddy?
I'm going to be as optimistic as I possibly can and go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay. I usually go for 1-1 draw in instances like this, but I've gone for 2-1 Villa win. Chelsea at home, or was it Stato had this up now? I could have butchered this again. Once again, it's been an extremely busy time for me, so I'm half reading things on the internet. But I think Stato had that Chelsea have not got a great record playing at home, but have a really good record away from home or something like that this season. So that's why I'm going with 2-1. And as I say, my information is from memory at the moment, not from fact. So please bear that one in mind. But I'm going to go 2-1 Aston Villa. Put your scores in the comments there as well, and I'll go down through them old school style. And Paddy, I know you got to run now, so thanks a million for starting the podcast, and I will finish it. You have a bus to catch, and I have to tiptoe back inside as well so that I don't wake up kids. That's why I was late. Kids to go to sleep, and
go to sleep.
Yeah, and sometimes
have a good one, guys.
It's always the time I have to do the team sheet tantrum that it has to be Daddy that has to put him to bed. So,
enjoy that while you can too.
Exactly.
Have a good one, guys, and I'll chat to you over the coming days. Up the Villa.
See you later, Paddy. So guys, you've got putting in your comments there your scores in there. Just as I'm waiting for the scores to come in, I'll just kind of go into a small bit more depth on what I was saying there. I know probably a lot of people are asking there about, or it will be probably a conversation over time, is Nedeljkovic going to go on loan in January? I think it probably all revolves around if we sign another centre half that can play as a right back as well. I think the signings will dictate who goes out. I think at the moment, if you were to ask the club, nobody is going to leave at the minute. And I don't mean that as a party political kind of, saying the right thing to say the right thing piece. But I think genuinely they won't let players go just for the sake of it. I think that they're happy with the numbers that they have currently. And if it's somebody out, somebody will come in. Or if somebody does come in, somebody will move out, I suppose, really. That's more like it. There could be loans for the likes of Emi Buendia. There could be loans for the likes of Lamar Bogart. There could be loans for, as we've heard during the week, that Louis Barry will be recalled and will go out on loan to the Championship. I'm a bit. I'm not too sure about that one. I know people talk about playing at a different level, but we've seen a lot of times where we've given people have gone on loan to the Championship, they've gone to the wrong team. And I know they're talking about Borough that Louis Barry will go to, which would be great for him. We've good rapport with them, and also we know Carrick isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But we've loaned players to Championship teams who have then changed their manager, have gone into a lull of form, and have gone back to maybe more experienced or tried and trusted players that they've had throughout the course of the season or seasons previous. I just think sometimes game time is what this guy needs, and if he was to go and score 21 or 2 or 3 or 5 goals for Stockport this year, I think that's probably better for him. But look, maybe he wants to play in the Championship. Maybe Villa want to play him and bring him up to the Championship to see if they can flog him for PSR reasons in the summer. So who am I to question? Who am I to question? I suppose it does go on what the actual view is for him into the future. But I think the players will move on. Robin Olsen obviously is the sub goalkeeper today. There's talk that he might move to Malmo in January as well. So I think the turnover of players will come from. It will very much be squad management as opposed to addition for the sake of it. There will be addition. If there is addition, there will be subtraction, and vice versa, I think, from that point of view. But I still think a very valid question to ask. And I know that actually it was really interesting in Claret and Blue. And I'm going to be doing a post-match on the Claret and Blue today as well, guys. So directly after the game here, jump on here for 15 minutes, 20 minutes to discuss the game. And then we'll be going directly over to Claret and Blue, where myself and Dan Rollinson will be chatting about the game in further detail afterwards. But I know the reason I bring that up as well is that John Townley had a good. If you listen to, I think it was yesterday's podcast, Claret and Blue did. He spoke about why sometimes it's difficult to get anything out of the spoken media portion of the press conferences with Unai Emery, and that because they're under embargo for the written piece, a lot more comes out afterwards, and that's usually around 9 or 10 o'clock that night where the written piece comes out. But he was saying that a lot of people who go there are asking questions because they've only got a very, very slight period of time, and they know that there's constraints about what they can ask because there's less embargoes than for everything that goes on. That's a Premier League thing. That's every club has this issue. But I would love somebody to ask the first question, Kostin Nedeljkovic. What's the crack? Simple as that. What's the story there? It's not like putting pressure on Unai to give us a rundown. I just like to know what his time frame is, or when he was brought in, what time frame for him was. And is he the player for next year? Is he the succession plan, or is he somebody that's still trying to find his feet in English football? I'm okay with either. I'm not panicking over him. But I think, £9 million on a right back who's 18 years of age. I think there's a question to be asked there, just so that nobody owes us that information, but I would like to have it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, here we go. So we're going to start off here. Sai goes for 3-2. Michael Bruce is going for another 0-0. Dean Blackwood is going 2-0 Villa. Welland Valley is going for 3-1 Chelsea. 1-1 from LT Shirts. 2-1 says Nicholas. Mark Wood is going 0-0 as well. Declan is going for 2-2. Richie Ryan is also going for 2-2. Engine 9 is going for 3-1. Stato is going 3-1 for Villa. David Dwyer is going 1-1. Bear in the Garden is going 3-3. 3-1 says Osgerm to Chelsea. Charlie S is going 2-1 to Chelsea. 5-2 to Villa, says the Bladnator. Where else are we there? 3-1 Chavsky, says Michael Richards. Luca Wadding's going 1-0. Tyro Roblox is going 3-2 to Villa. Is there anybody else going to put in any? This is the lowest amount of. Did I miss a load of them earlier on? Oh, I did. I missed a ton. No, I didn't. Paul S says 3-1 Philogene. Greg is going 2-1 against the run of play, backs to the wall today. Anyone else? 2-2 draw I saw up there. Oh, I'm after losing it. 2-2 draw, says Richie. Fourth time lucky. Richie Ryan. Where else are we? Lynn Powell says 2-1 to Villa. Shane Corbin is going 1-1. Sam thinks we're going to get battered today. Jared Dunleavy's going for 2-2. Owen McMahon's going for 2-2. Jake Aston Villa's going for 3-1. And I think that's all of your scores. That's the handiest job you've given me on the rundown in the scores in years. Genuinely, I would say years in the years that we've been doing this. So maybe you're trying to save my voice for the celebrating we're going to do afterwards if we win. Look, I'm under no illusions. This Chelsea team are absolutely flying it at the moment. They are a team that has very much been constructed, destroyed, and constructed again over the last 18 months. Maresca seems to be somebody who was able to get the tune out of these players, much more so than previous managers. Obviously they've got dangerous players. Like genuinely, they don't bring in Cole Palmer. All the rest of the money they've spent has been an absolute flush down the toilet. Palmer makes this team tick. For some reason, we seem to play well against him. That's obviously not going to always last. All this whole piece about Cole Palmer has never scored against Aston Villa in a Chelsea jersey. Look, maybe that changes today. Obviously, every single second that a player plays against Aston Villa or that an Aston Villa player plays against another team leads to a possibility, or you're 1 minute closer to that record being broken. I've no doubt in my mind that Cole Palmer will probably score today, or has every chance to score today. So what I'm getting at here is the past performance is no indication of future performance. We played a lot better against Juventus during the week. A lot better against Juventus. And I will go down fighting saying that was a really good Juventus team that was out there, and we nullified an awful lot of what they could do. We could have got to Locatelli a small bit quicker. We could have made more, we could have been tougher on him. You know, if the referee was giving fouls for everything, we could have left a few on Locatelli as opposed to leaving them on other players that were less influential. I know that's not our game and that's not our type of play, but he was very, very good against Aston Villa during the week. We come to this Chelsea team, and Chelsea have players like that. They've got really influential players in the middle of that midfield as well that we will need to obviously marshal in there. And they've also got influential players on the outside as well in Sancho and Neto. But we really need to get on top of Romeo Lavia today. As Paddy said, you know, he is somebody that Paddy was saying might get sent off today. I'm not so sure. But he's a very influential player for them. There's a reason why he came straight back into the team after he was badly injured last year. The guy is class. He's really good. There's a reason why two teams have spent multiple tens of millions on him at such a young age. The guy has all the potential in the world. And he's playing in amongst two 100 million pound players inside there, Caicedo and Enzo. You know? That midfield is going to be really good. We've just played a midfield that's really good. And we need our midfield to be bang on the top of our game. John McGinn has to play centrally today in this midfield. He just has to. Just has to. And will we see it? I don't know, but we will know in the next 40 minutes when those teams go out in the field. But it's going to be a matchup of styles. Again, playing three at the back for Juventus today. Fofana, Colwill, Cucurella. That's, you know, Cucurella is not going to stay at home. He just doesn't have the defensive positional discipline to do that. Just doesn't, which is fine because the other two guys are as fast as lightning over ground. We're not going to be able to play behind these guys, and that's why I'm saying that's why my guess for my thing was 2 goals from outside the box, and we're going to win 2-1. Was because I definitely think that Ollie Watkins can front up to Colwill and Fofana. I like both of those players. Don't get me wrong. I really like both of those players. But I think Ollie Watkins is well able to handle if we get 1-on-1 with Ollie Watkins and even a ball in the air, or Ollie Watkins trying to feed the ball back to somebody coming through. I think I don't think he's going to get out muscled by either of those two players. So that leads me to believe that we're hopefully going to be able to get the ball to stick up there. And if we do, we have to be quick on it. That's why I want Rodgers on the wing. And I want McGinn able to get up top. Because I want the press to be high from McGinn on the likes of Caicedo and Lavia that are there. And I want McGinn to be close to Ollie Watkins so that for recycling of the ball purposes. It's going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a really tough battle. You know, Villa have no right to go there and win today. I'm being over optimistic, I think, with my 2-1. Normal Neil would go 1-1 in a game like this. But I said I might as well I've not been great at predicting results anyway, so why bother trying to get it right when I can go and be optimistic? Because I haven't gotten it right so far anyway for a lot of games. So I still have a lot of hope in this game. I like the team that we've out, albeit look, we can discuss over Philogene all we want. Maybe he's in there to give that backline a bit of protection. I would imagine so. Doesn't tend to go past players in the Premier League so far this year. Has been a bit more defensively disciplined. Maybe that allows McGinn, Rodgers to swap a small bit more. Maybe it allows Kamara to not be that defensive shield in front of the back four. Maybe it allows more of an overlap between Cash and Philogene, especially if they're playing a wing back system with, well, not wing back, but I suppose Neto and Sancho are going to be the two people on the wings. And they're not wing backs, they're attackers. So for me, it's a 3-5-2 in this formation. So maybe that overlap becomes key on that right hand side. Maybe that's why Rodgers is going to be on the other side, so they can carry past the Neto on, draw out maybe a Fofana or a Cucurella, draw him out. Maybe make it a 1-on-1 with Ollie Watkins in the middle with McGinn shooting through. There's a lot of tactical nuance to the setup, albeit, we are struggling for creativity out wide. I'm completely not blind to that. But we have somebody who's going to put in a game plan. I'm not saying the players are going to be able to execute it 100%. But we all balked at Philogene against Bayern Munich from the start, and he turned out to probably be man of the match in that game. So it's a curious selection, but one that you could make an argument for even if you dislike it. I think that's the way I would describe it. So we're on 12:52, so we've got 38 minutes before kickoff. So I'm going to let everybody go and get settled. I do apologize again for my tardiness at the start. Nothing you can do when you have two kids that just want their daddy to put them to bed. You just have to put them to bed. It's as simple as that. But I will be back with a post-match podcast directly on the final whistle. I'm going to do 10-15 minutes here on my own. Paddy's going to be in the boozer. So it'll just be me. And then we will pop over then to Claret and Blue guys, and we will continue the conversation over there with Dan Ronaldson. Also, I just wanted to say to you guys as well that you may have seen that the guys at Division Retro have given us a 20% off code. If you go to our Twitter or to our Blue Sky, you'll be able to find it there. It's McGrath20. They do all the licensed Henson gear. If you guys want to check that out as well, please do. There is 20% off there if anybody's looking for any retro stuff for Christmas. But yeah, as I say, give me 2 seconds here, because what I want to do is, as you know, all of these podcasts, we try to get them. Sometimes the system doesn't work. Try to get them to throw you directly into Dale AVFC Statos live feed. So I'm just making sure that this is actually going to happen here. So if anybody is interested in doing the watch along with Dale, we are going to be thrown directly into that in less than 30 seconds. Because I've just confirmed that you guys will be thrown in there. So that's Dale's watch along for the Chelsea game. It's going to be his last watch along for the rest of the month. So he won't be doing them again until the 30th of December, I've been reliably informed. So if you do love Dale's match watch alongs, please check them out. And all you have to do is stay here. You'll be thrown directly into it in the next 30 seconds, because I'm going to go. Stay safe, stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa. Where is my podcast outro?